So on Thursday, August 4th, Wave 2 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass was released after only being revealed a week earlier. I kind of just wanted to give my own opinions on the Wave 2 update just like I did in March about Wave 1. Now before I talk about the new tracks, I kind of want to talk about a few changes they made to the Wave 1 courses. I mean, they didn't really change any of the graphical issues or the textures in any of the maps, but they did make a few little changes that will at least make people like me who find the DLC fun despite the lack of detail happy that they at least did something. First of all, on Toad Circuit and Choco Mountain, you may now notice that your tires get dirty. It's just a neat little detail that the game had that wasn't there before on these tracks. Also, as you are more likely to have noticed by now, the cars on Coconut Mall move again. It may not be the same as it was in Mario Kart Wii, but honestly, in my opinion, this is better. It's funnier. This is a nice change from what it was before, where the cars would be in slightly different positions every race, and that's it. As for the actual Wave 2 courses, let's start with New York Minute. Let me just say that this track is actually much better than the other city tracks in the first wave. The routes you take are more interesting, and it looks so pretty in this game. I never played this track in Mario Kart Tour, so I don't really know how to compare the two versions of the track, but I do know that in this game it's one of my favorites of the whole DLC so far, as it is really fun to drive on. It's a bit of a learning curve, but once you're used to the layout and you know where the next laps are going to be, you're good to go. I don't quite understand why the road is so slippery and wet though. It seems kind of random, but other than that, this is a pretty good track. Next up is Mario Circuit 3. Now, it's not quite as bad as Toad Circuit is, but it's certainly down there as one of the worst looking tracks in the game. But it's not even just about that, it's about the fact that there's not really much going on. I could honestly fall asleep on this track. In fact, the track is so dull that there's really not much to talk about. The only thing it really has going for is the off-road shortcuts, which at least makes it a comeback-friendly track. Even the music isn't that great. It just sounds like the original version with a few added instruments. Now, N64 Kalimari Desert was never my favorite Mario Kart course because it was so empty. I don't know. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe somehow manages to make it look amazing without really trying to. Personally, I do wish that they kept the original gimmick where you have to stop and wait for the train to pass to continue. I mean, I guess technically you could potentially have to do that, but realistically, on lap 1, it goes so slow that you really don't have to worry about it. And then by the time you get to the other railroad crossing, it's already gone by. However, this course makes up for the lack of that gimmick by adding a brand new route. Everyone hated how you could no longer go through the tunnel in Mario Kart 7. Well, now you can. In fact, you're kind of forced to on lap 2. Because this track now switches between the two versions seen in Mario Kart Tour. The normal version and Kalimari Desert 2. I find that really cool. Not only that, but it makes the train continue to be a danger as you risk crashing straight into it driving through the tunnel. This is a top tier track for sure. Now for me, Waluigi Pinball is a really exciting track, but not for the same reason as everyone else. In fact, the reason I'm excited for it is because everyone else is. I don't really care about it that much, but because I know 90% of everyone else does, I was happy to see it. But really, I just don't see the appeal of this track because, especially on 150cc, you have to drive around that pinball, and it's almost impossible to avoid. And even that's not as bad as when you get to the very bottom of the machine, where they're pretty much just bouncing around randomly, and you almost cannot avoid them unless you go around the edges. And even then you risk getting hit by it. I honestly don't get what's so great about this track. But if everyone else is happy about it, I guess I am too. I do gotta say, I'm rather disappointed that they just reused the Wario Stadium music for this track. I mean, yeah, in Mario Kart DS, those two tracks have the exact same music, and that was fine for its time. But they made this new remix to fit a stadium setting. It just doesn't go well with this track at all. Not only that, but it completely ruins the part where Mario Kart 8 is the first game to have a unique soundtrack for every course in the game. Yeah, I mean, the music could have the same melody or a similar melody to keep it similar to the original version, but that's fine. I mean, Mario Kart Stadium shares a similar melody to Mario Circuit, meanwhile they're both two completely different songs. But enough about the music. As for the track itself, as I said earlier, trying to dodge the pinball while trying to go down the machine is really annoying, but perhaps that's what makes this course so special. I'll still consider this a high-end course, it's just not my favorite. Sydney Sprint is honestly beautiful in this game. It's by far my favorite course in Wave 2. It's really fun to drive. I'd almost go as far as saying it's my favorite track in the entire DLC. Just like New York Minute, the layout is a bit confusing at first, but you just have to get used to it. If it's any easier, Lap 3 is just a reverse version of Lap 1, and Lap 2 is its own route. But the amount of places you can drift, trick, glide, and cut through with mushrooms makes this track a lot more fun to play. And I will pick this track every time it comes up, even in favor of Ninja Hideaway. Oh, and the music. I love what they have done to it. Definitely the best song in the game now, or at least very close, if not the best song in the game. Snow Land from Mario Kart Super Circuit was a really interesting track choice, to say the least, but it is a welcome one, because what they have done to this course is incredible. Just like Cheese Land, they have completely redesigned the track to fit modern standards, but unlike other GBA tracks in the game, they stayed almost 100% faithful to the original track layout. That alone makes this the best GBA remake in the game. There are a lot of shortcut opportunities to try out. Not necessarily the same as the original version had, but ones that make the track even more fun. This is another track I will always pick online. Now, Mushroom Gorge. This was always one of my most hated tracks in Mario Kart Wii. Physics just don't work well at all. In this game, it's improved a little bit, but for some reason I just have a hard time tricking off of the red mushrooms. Luckily, I have found a strategy to overcome that difficulty, and that is just to spam both of the trick buttons at the same time, back and forth until it works. And while I still can't get it 100% consistently, it's at least easier. But with that said, it is much better than it is in Mario Kart Wii. It's still not my favorite track in the world, but it's alright. Lastly, we have a brand new track, Sky High Sundae. Now, I'm excited that we will potentially be getting even more brand new courses in the game, even if it means they'll come to tour eventually, either before or after the booster pass. Unfortunately, it's not a great track. I say this because there are multiple parts where it's hard to see where you're going, which is not great for a person playing for the first time. But the other thing is, the glider ramp at the start is hard to trick off of because it is so unnecessarily small. Basically, this track had potential, it just feels a bit unpolished and it needs some work. Overall, I think this wave is a lot better than Wave 1, and frankly, I enjoyed pretty much all the tracks. Yeah, even Mario Circuit 3. It could still use some improvements, but they're still very fun to play. If you like this video, please leave a like and comment what you think about the tracks. If you haven't seen my other content, why don't you go check it out and subscribe if you enjoy it. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.